All right. Here interviewing Connor Mosack. Big news lately with your Xfinity deal for Sam Hunt. Just tell us a little bit about the deal and what all you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be joining Sam. Got to run that one race with him earlier this year at Watkins Glen, and felt good about that. Even though it wasn't the finish we wanted, we had good speed all day, and I don't think there's any reason we can't do that or be even better next year. Having two cars full time will, I think, only help the program. Being able to have going from this year where they had almost a different driver in it every week, it's hard to build momentum and build the program. But when you have a full-time car with a full-time guy with Kaz, and then with me having 20 races, I think that'll really help the whole team, and hopefully that'll correlate to a lot of good finishes. I think the car's capable of running in the top five, and hopefully we can do that consistently.
What races are you most looking forward to for this season?
Probably the tracks I've been to, because I know we can, run well or run better at those than probably some of the places that are going to be new to me, and also the road courses as well. It's somewhere that I feel like I'm a little bit stronger at right now. But like Pocono and Michigan, those are two tracks we're going to get to go to, and got to run those both in the ARCA races this year and last year. So it's a place I at least know going into it, and ran well in ARCA there. So those are probably the ones I'm looking forward to the most. And then, there's some tracks we get to go to twice just in Xfinity. So going back there the second time will be a big help as well.
Do you have anything planned outside of the Xfinity series for next year?
We got some ARCA races planned. Hopefully we'll get to announce those soon. Pretty excited about those. And then that's about it for now. Probably going to do some super late model stuff, some late model stock stuff, maybe a couple of Trans Am races, but we don't have any of that nailed down or able to announce at the moment.
Yeah, I was just curious if you were going to do any more late model races because you were there at the Snowball Derby. And it was kind of just like, since we were on Jackson Boone's car, just being up at the holler, it was kind of surreal seeing you walk up there. It's like, oh my God, it's Connor Mosack. Like, it was really, really cool. And if you do more late model races, because that's mainly what I go to, definitely going to be rooting for you.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, hopefully we get to do some more with Jamie and run some with Jackson. That's kind of the plan right now. I think maybe Speed Weeks will be where we start out at, and then hope to run more. It's I want to be able to run them more consistently to be able to run better in them. It's tough to. That was only my second super race of the year, really. So it's hard to hop in one of those things, and especially at one of the bigger races, and really be able to run well. So I could be able to get in them more and be more consistent with them.
And you had mentioned the tracks you've been to. Do you have any favorite tracks?
On the late model side, New Smyrna is a place I've liked. We've run well there, both in the pro late model and in the super. And unfortunately, haven't got a win, but we've been, have a few taken away from us, I feel like. And I think we can go there and be racing for wins every night this coming Speed Week. So that's what we're going to try to do. Pensacola is a really cool place as well. One of the tougher places we go to, but, I definitely would like to go back there and get some more laps there.
This is kind of just some of the stuff we like talking about on the show. Would you say that you have any rivals in NASCAR?
I don't know if I have any direct rivals. Like we're kind of banging doors with each other all the time, but there's definitely some guys that you want to beat more than others that, I've kind of come up a little bit with, like in late models and in ARCA, and even going back to legend cars. Like Sammy Smith is a guy I raced in legend cars a lot, and we were always battling for wins. And we've kind of progressed. He's progressed a little bit quicker than I have, and then we're kind of meeting back in Xfinity a little bit now. But he's a guy that I feel like maybe has a little more experience than I do, but we've run competitively and in similar cars a lot. So kind of just guys like that you race with as you move up. Those are the guys you want to be as you get into higher levels.
So this is kind of change the topic altogether. but it's something we've been talking about on the show. What do you think of NASCAR and just racing in general starting to go hybrid and electric and all that? Like there was that electric late model at PRI, and I think it was Joe Gibbs had an electric car they used for pit stop practice. What do you think is gonna happen with all that?
Well, I think there's some good things about it for sure. I mean, like the electric pit car that Gibbs has, I think is a great idea because I did some pit practice before Watkins Glen this year, and having to fire the motor and shut it off and all that is, especially when you're indoors, can get kind of annoying. So having something electric like that, I think is really cool. I hope we don't get to a fully electric car. I'm still a little bit, I guess, more old school in that way, but I do think maybe like a hybrid or something could be cool, or have one hybrid series, because at least, um, you know, I think that's where technology is moving, at least on the streetcar side. So I won't be surprised if that happens, but hopefully that's where it doesn't go past that.
Yeah, and this kind of ties in with the electric question. So today is the 75th anniversary of NASCAR, and just wanted to know what you think will happen over the next 75 years. I mean, where do you see NASCAR going?
That's a good question. We've seen them in the last couple of years, especially going to new venues, and the Coliseum, and now with the Chicago Street Course, and then just adding more road courses as well. I think we'll probably see that continue to trend in that direction, with maybe even adding a few more road courses, and definitely going to new venues. And I won't be surprised if we see them start doing, a couple international races, whether it be in Canada or they go back to somewhere like Japan or somewhere in Europe. I think that would be a good way to get you grow the fan base internationally, and definitely won't be surprised to see that happen. And obviously the cars are going to continue to evolve. I won't be surprised if the Xfinity series turns into something like what the Cup cars have now in 5 to 10 years, where they're also more of like a neutral body car that can run on road courses with the single lug, that sort of thing. So I think just as technology continues to advance, the sport's going to have to follow.
And also with the 75th anniversary thing, is there any moment in like any era in NASCAR history that you'd love to go back to and do a race, any race?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, probably mid 80s to early 90s, that era, you had, kind of when Dale Earnhardt was coming on the scene and at his peak, guys like that, just kind of a different style of racing than it is nowadays. And I think that'd be really cool to experience and learn from those guys. You obviously have the safety aspect, so not quite as good, but it'd definitely be cool to try out a couple times.
And that kind of wraps it up for the racing questions, but we have another big thing we talk about on the show. Just want to get your opinion on college football playoff picks. Do you watch college football? Do you got a favorite team that's in the Final Four?
I used to be really really involved with it. My sister actually went to Alabama, so been fortunate enough to have a team that is pretty successful. So Alabama's who I pull for. Obviously, this hasn't been their best year. TCU is a school that I had looked at actually going to college at, so I've been supporting them this year. I know they lost recently, but as far as the teams that are left, I'm not really tied to any of them. I just hope they're all good games, and I'll be watching those.
Well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you again so much for agreeing to come on the show. It's been awesome talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yep. And good luck with the ride this year. I hope everything goes well.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.